Friends, so today we'll go for the class 8. Okay, so class 8 regarding the garnets. So what are these garnets? Next concept of this after spinels. So these are garnets are found in the rocks usually. Okay, metamorphized rocks under high temperature and pressure. Okay, all species of garnets have the same physical and crystal form. So but they have different chemical composition. Okay, they may be having the same physical and crystal form, but chemical composition varies of these garnets. Okay, so example of this garnet, they are found in the rocks, main thing, okay? Big rocks and all wherever you go. So we are going to see this under high temperature and pressures. So where we observe this, for example, pyrope. So pyrope is a garnet of magnesium, aluminum silicate. So they are very used for different magnetic properties. They differ in very different magnetic properties. Okay, there is a pyrope and the same thing almandine. So this is a garnet of iron, aluminum silicates. So same thing grossular is named, and it is a calcium aluminum silicate andradite. Okay, this is also calcium iron silicate. So like this. So these are the four I have taken example for garnets. So pyrope, almandine, grossular and andradite, they have the general formula like this. General formula for garnets will be A3B2X3O12. Okay, so what is this A? A is, for example, if I take the example of pyrope here. So pyrope, where A stands for magnesium. So pyrope consists of magnesium, aluminum silicate garnet. So A is magnesium and B is aluminum. X is nothing but silicate, Si3 and O12. So this constitute one general formula for the garnets. Okay, and these are the large family of complex oxides. They are very complex oxides and ferrimagnetic materials and differ maximum. They show different magnetic properties. Okay, the first synthesized garnet was YIG. This they will ask in the examination, very important. Okay, what is this YIG? So that is nothing but yttrium iron argate, yttrium iron garnet. So given by Fe5O12. This is okay. So this garnet shows different magnetic properties. Okay, different magnetic properties. So graphically we can show in this way. Okay, Bohr magneton versus magnetic properties versus temperature variation. So you can see this like this, and we have taken the lanthanides here, series of lanthanides, because these elements only are going to form with the garnets here, or form garnets. Like this is lutetium, from lanthanide to lutetium gadolinium. Okay, then Tb, Dy, HOER, TMYB, okay, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, okay, then thulium, TM, YB, ytterbium, then lutetium. Okay, so how they see. So three graphs I have marked here. One, this is second, and this is third. So curve one is calculated orbital and spin orbital plus orbital plus spin contribution here like this. Okay, curve one, and curve two means this one is only spin only formula. So this from here to here, from gadolinium to lutetium, is only spin formula. Spin only is utilized here. And third actually is the third one is experimental. See here, this is experimental. We got somewhat increase. This is spin plus orbital quenching, and this is spin only. But experimental, we can see here it's somewhat increasing, then some decrease, and that increases here. That means gadolinium and lutetium are almost with the experimental here, but terbium, dysprosium, other elements, they are not showing the experimental. So they differ from the experimental, either higher side or lower side or higher side like this. So this is how varying magnetic properties we can observe in the garnets. So this is what the importance of the garnets is. Okay, so you can see here gadolinium GD plus 3, if you say it's a F7. Okay, F7 system having 7 unpaired electrons here. So you can see the Bohr magneton is 7 here, Bohr, and the net magnetic moment of this is 16 Bohr magneton, and it tallies here. So you can see here gadolinium, so net was 16 minus, so it tallies here like this. So experimental value and obtained is correct here. So gadolinium. Similarly, lutetium F17. So Bohr magneton magnetic moment comes to be 0 here, and the net magnetic moment, if you calculate, comes minus 5 Bohr magneton. It also tallies lutetium minus 5 Bohr magnetons here, minus 5 Bohr magneton. So experimentally of lutetium and gadolinium is absolutely okay, but from dysprosium to ytterbium, you can see that there is a increase in the magnetic moment value. Okay, then the experiment, then the what is say experimental. Okay, so Experimental is something experimental is different from the observed one here. Okay, what should be the observed here? So you can see here, so appears to be orbital moment. So why does this from ytterbium to ytterbium to terbium, so like here, so why there is difference in the magnetic moment value? It may be because of the quenching here. So orbital moment is not quenched here properly here. Okay, so that's why we can see here the mu value is larger than the spin only. So this is a spin only, but here mu value you can see the larger than the spin only here. So it is not matching with the spin only value. Okay, the experimental is different here. So that is why, because of the different because of the because the it is not properly quenched here. So that is what the difference in the magnetic moment value. This YIG is showing here at yttrium. So they have the different magnetic properties. So this you have to explain it. Okay, and even you can see one more garnet they will ask you, that is dysprosium dy Fe5O12. So dysprosium, so this also you can see the magnetic moment value, how it differs. Antiferromagnetic spontaneous magnetization in dysprosium iron garnet as a function of temperature. Spontaneous magnetization. Okay, as you increase a function of temperature, so you are increasing the temperature 100, 200 to 600 like that. And you can see the spontaneous magnet, as you increase the temperature, the how the spontaneous magnet, it will come and it will reach to this zero here, starting as you increase here zero, and that temperature we call as compensation temperature. Okay, and as you increase the temperature, it will be again down here, and at again as you increase the temperature, it will move in a reverse case now. So as it down here, but again it goes to inverse reverse case here, and again reach second time zero here. So this is the first time zero, then this will reach at the second time zero here, and that we call it as a Curie temperature. Okay, so first time zero when it meets compensation temperature, and second time when it reverse case it goes up and meets zero again here, we call it as a Curie's temperature. So this is how the rise in temperature and the opposite direction and then fall to again zero second time, we call it as a Curie's temperature here. So this is how the dysprosium garnet is showing here, the magnetic property here. And why this happens? This happens because of the spin of Fe+3 ions are randomized into the rapidly. So here Fe+3 spin of this Fe garnet here. So here they are the spin is randomly organized here into this in the structure, and that's why it makes the magnetic property behave in this way. So these garnets are very important in varying the different magnetic properties here. So this is how we can explain the thing of the garnets. Regarding the garnets, the main thing you have to keep in the mind is this four types: pyrope, almadine, grossular, and enderlite. So these are the four garnets, and this is what the behavior with difference with respect to the temperature, okay, and the magnetic moment. That is YIG and dysprosium. So here this is how we can regarding the garnets we can explain. Okay, so whatever this is there, you can give this much question will be there, so you can give this two graphical presentation as well as this explanation regarding the garnets with this example. So it's more than sufficient for this. Okay, in the next class we'll go for the next concept of the chapter. Okay, thank you.